Tyler, how are you?
Good, how are you, Josh?
Good. Let me show you around the shop a little bit. I'll kind of just touch on each one of the projects and then kind of explain the different areas of the shop. The shop is really kind of cut up. Denny, this is his building. He originally added on to it as time went on and his business grew. So you'll see what I'm saying as we walk around a little bit more. This is a 40 Ford that we put a new frame under and a new motor and tranny last year. The guy was driving it all summer. It's just basically back for some simple service, kind of getting ahead of everybody for the summer rush, if you will, of all these little small projects, so which is helpful for us. But this is kind of a nice lift that we use for doing a lot of in and out stuff. It's got direct access outside, so we try and leave it open often. This is a 70 Bronco that we did a full build on. So it's a chassis, Coyote, 10-speed, full strip on the body, pretty stock interior, custom roll bar that we did. Little stuff all over the place, but more or less just a super nice, clean, simple build. Uncut fenders, trim, a color that the customer picked out. Really happy with it. Got dyno tuned today, and so we'll be able to start putting some more miles on it, which will be great. Get it ready for the summer. This is a Kirkham Cobra, so it's aluminum bodied. He ran it into a telephone pole in the fender, so I got to pull all that out and straighten all the aluminum and repair what was there, and then we painted the whole car. He actually wanted it painted. He's wanted it painted for a while. He was kind of tired of driving around a mirror. So my repair had to be respectable, but it wasn't going to be polished again. Turned out really good. I'm proud of how this car came out. Get to show it off this summer. It's got some really wild side vents that Derek machined for this that turned out really wicked. Out here in this area is more so like storage. So we're waiting on a part for the Corvette. Right now, we're gonna pull the rear end out of this to get it narrowed. So these cars are just kind of waiting on something. Everything's always getting worked on, but this is a spot that's just part storage and kind of a bunch of stuff, but it's helpful. It works good. Another add-on from Denny over the years. This is a 66 Corvette. It's turning into a really awesome build. Art Morrison chassis, independent front and rear suspension, Lingenfelter, stack injected LS3. This is an automatic car now, but we cut the whole rear floor out, putting tubs in it, made room for the suspension, tucked the bumpers, lots of custom little billet details and engine bay stuff, and really detailed build. And this is going to highlight one of our new products that we're working on coming out with. 67 Chevelle, Morrison chassis, Texas Speed LS7 with a 3-liter Whipple, also an automatic car. Wheel tubs, just really rowdy, but pretty refined and usable. We're gonna start with a pretty big pulley on it. This thing would be good for 1,000 horsepower. We're gonna tamp it down a little bit so it's a little more manageable. But yeah, this is a great car that we're all excited about working on and putting together. And then this is a 70 F250. One of our really good customers, his dad bought it basically new and had his camper on it. He would go hunting with it and he used it for many years. And then Mike ended up with it and wanted to kind of bring it back to life with a little bit of modern stuff. So not crazy over the top, it's a stock frame, a little bit modifications and stuff to refine it, bigger brakes, different rear ends, stuff like that. Coyote with 10 speed, so drivability stuff is there. It should be good and reliable, comfortable, air conditioning. We also got this really cool upholstery from Fat Fender Garage. They make a kit for this that you can customize, kind of modular. So you can put in your own piece here or your own design here, and they let you pick all that stuff out. The way this upholstery is set up in these trucks, it works well because the door panel is the door panel. It doesn't have to tie into anything else. So a kit like this works out really good, and their stuff is super high quality. So I look forward to seeing that come together. They were also able to supply us with a lot of the parts for the Coyote and the conversion and stuff. So when we find a company like that that's good to work with and can give us conversion parts, we can lean into their knowledge and experience doing this stuff. It's super helpful. I'm excited about this one. It's more like a driver, but it's turned out really good. This is a 70 Blazer that we built. We finished this one 2 years ago now. Same thing, it's just basically back in for some service, little paint work, touch up. Great builds, highly modified stock chassis, LS3 with a cam in it. Automatic, lots of custom stuff. You can see on our Instagram too, we made a video about the whole hardtop lift system, which was super slick. It's all pins and latches and a whole lift that we put in his garage that makes it really easy. These things are notoriously heavy and difficult to remove, and then you lift it and now it's basically nearly impossible to take off. So it works really cool. It's really cool. It's something he's always wanted to have. On top of that, the whole custom interior that McFarlane did is incredible. the console, the dash, all these little details. The engine bay is really tricked out. He's super happy with it. So it's always fun to see him come back in after they've been gone for a little while, because you forget a lot of things and it kind of makes you appreciate the work a little bit more. Everybody gets re-energized about what they did. But we're in the kind of the main part of the shop. This is the original part of the building that Denny had built. So when it was just him, he had this rectangle, this paint booth, and one door to the outside, and everything else was just pushed out from there. This is our paint booth. Connor just shot this Volvo today, just a repair, nothing crazy, a little collision, guy sideswiped something. But it's a pretty cool P1800. We've never really worked on anything like this, but it's a friend of a friend, a good little project. This is 70 Charger, easily the most radical build we've ever done. There isn't a stone that's gone unturned on this thing. Everything is touched. I'm not going to talk a ton about it. We're really hoping to get this at SEMA, and not really sure how that's going to shape out for us yet. So we'll try and keep it as exciting as possible. This is where we have another lift inside the shop that's a little bit set up for more long-term projects, so the car can sit here and not be in the way of anything else. Now we're going into the back shop, which is also another add-on. We got another car lift back here, which is great. A lot of the metal shaping equipment, the CNC, the lathe, another mill, 3D printer, all that kind of stuff. This is a cutlass. A 70 cutlass, of course. Like everything else is 70 right now for some reason. Someone else painted, somebody else built the engine. The owner was kind of putting it together himself a little bit, but got to a point where he was ready to get some help on it. We're just bringing it to the finish line for him. It's pretty much just a shell right now that's been painted. It's a lot of work. Sometimes these jobs can be really challenging, going back through what everybody else has done and boxes of parts and everything. Fortunately, we have some experience with these cars and these body styles. We can work through it. But they're challenging nonetheless. This is a CNC machine, a Haas VF2. This is really Derek's area. He takes all this equipment and makes all these incredible parts that you guys see. We also have our 3D printer, which is a really great tool to use in combination with the CNC, because oftentimes the same 3D model that he makes, we can print it inexpensive in a 3D printed plastic version, test fit that part, maybe look at the part, because ultimately having it in your hand is really the best visual representation of what you're going to get before we commit to cutting it out of billet. Those two have become basically one and the same. They have to be together, and that's how we work. We can also cut out two-dimensional profiles with it, which is great when we like send apart a bracket for a rear end or whatever it may be. We can laser cut it in this same machine, putting a different head on it, test fit that there again before we commit to having it cut out of steel or carbon fiber or whatever it is. Then a couple of manual machines and a brake and sandblaster tucked back in the corner. We keep cramming more stuff in here, so but it all works. And that crammed kind of leads us into the next thing of we are working on a new shop. So it's going to double the size and be a wide open floor plan. It's going to help us get more organized, be more efficient, take on a little bit more work, but more or less just have more space to work, more space to have equipment and all kinds of different things, a better paint booth, and kind of level up everything. So I'm really looking forward to that in the next year or so. Thanks for watching the video. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're going to be creating more content going forward. I feel like I keep saying 70. They're all set. This is a 70. This is 70. A 70 cutlass, of course. Like everything else is 70 right now for some reason. You get to see my huge split in my lip. My lips were chapped, and one of the boys.
Ooh, that's all right. I'll dim down the quality.